I saw this product on Instagram and yes, I was influenced, which is no surprise because I am very easy to influence. It was being showcased by actress Clara Batten, who is absolutely hilarious, and you should definitely check her out. I am always on the lookout for products that are going to make my skin look more dewy, more glowy, more youthful. And when I saw her using this, I knew I had to give it a go. And I can report that it is delicious. Hello, I'm Julie, a lover of all things skincare and makeup, and an accredited empowerment coach, dedicated to helping women over 50 feel as sassy as they damn well please, inside and out. I'd love it if you'd like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. So the product in question is this. It's the Ekin Radiant Glow Multi-Use Skin Perfector. Now it's not a new product, but it is new to me. It costs £16.95 and I'll link it down below for you. But I did get an offer. It was running at the time for £10, so it's definitely worth checking the website out every now and then to see if that offer's back on. I thought £16.95 for this was pretty good. I'm sure it'll last quite a long time. You don't need a lot. It's available in 6 shades and I've got the O2, which is light medium. If I was using it in the summer, still the winter here in the UK, although spring I should say now, then I'll probably go a little bit darker, but this is fine for now. Now if you didn't know, like I didn't, Ekin is a TV personality who won Love Island back in 2022, I think. I had to Google her. I watched Love Island just for one series, a year or so ago maybe, and that was enough for me. I won't be watching it again. But that's where I think she found her fame and she's gone on to do other things like they do. So this is her collaboration with Be Perfect, and you can get this from their website. And I'm just going to read you what the manufacturer says. Achieve an airbrush glow to the skin in seconds with the award-winning Multi-Use Radiant Glow Skin Perfector. A weightless and breathable formula with light reflecting particles, which I love, and skin optimising ingredients, which I also love. So that sounds very promising, doesn't it? The skin properties they talk about is hyaluronic acid, which is great for hydrating the skin. Vitamin E is an antioxidant that protects the skin from free radical damage and just helps with the overall protection to the skin. And camellia oil. This is a lightweight oil that moisturises and nourishes the skin without leaving a greasy feel to it. So working together, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So for people like me and maybe you with mature skin, those skincare ingredients just help with common concerns such as dryness and loss of elasticity. And as they say, every little helps. If you're using skincare anyway and then using things on top of your skincare that's also got properties in there that's going to help, it's a win-win in my eyes. Of course, what I'm really interested in is the light reflecting particles or pigments, I think they might call it, because wearing something on your skin that has got that property means that it's going to help with diffusing fine lines and wrinkles, and who doesn't want that? And of course the benefit of that is a smoother complexion, and because it's a radiant product, then the glowy skin that we're after. So this little beauty is multitasking, so you could wear it on its own, but it is quite glowy, so you'd have to be sure that that's the look you want. You can use it as a primer underneath your foundation, which is the way I choose to use it, and that helps achieve that lit from within glow that people talk about. You can combine it with your favourite moisturiser or foundation, which dilutes the effect of the radiance. So if you want something that is a bit radiant but not overwhelming, that could be a great choice for you. And then once your makeup is on, you could use it as a highlighter, either on your face or your body. At the moment I've got nothing on my face, so I'm going to be putting this on in a second. I have done my skincare, and it goes without saying that if you're going to use any product, any makeup on your face, good skincare is important to give you the look that you are aiming for. Now when I say good, that doesn't mean expensive, just creams and serums that have got properties in them that are really going to benefit your skin. So I'm going to get the clips in and then we'll get going. Now using a primer like I'm going to do with this does all sorts of things depending on the primer that you choose. This one is glowing, so it's going to help me look more glowy when I put the foundation on top. But primers are also good for helping the makeup to last longer. So they're definitely worth using, particularly on mature skin where we're always looking for a bit extra to help us along the way. Now to put put this on, you could use your brush or your fingers. If you use your fingers, your fingertips, that gives the most natural of looks. If you use the brush, which is the way I'm going to do it, then you'll get a more diffused type of look. Or you could use a damp sponge, and that will give you a much sheerer look. So if you don't want it to be too overwhelming, that could work really well for you. But make sure you squeeze that sponge out so it's not wet, it just needs to be damp. So let's get some on. The way I do this is always onto the back of my hand. We've all got our different ways of doing this. Don't need a lot, that's probably even too much. And I'm going to go for this brush, which is not overly fluffy. It's denser than a massively fluffy brush. I've got a fluffy one here, which I'm going to use in a minute. I'll show you that. So you can either tap your brush into it, which is probably what I'm going to do, or you could tap your finger into it and put it on your face and then use your brush. Whichever works best for you. I'm just going to tap my brush straight in, just a bit at a time, and then smooth it on. Don't want to put too much on at once because you can't take it off. Well, of course you can take it off. You could get a wet wipe and take it off or whatever you want. But if you're dashing to put your makeup on, like I often am, like we all often are, then doing it a bit at a time and not overloading is a better option. That is looking quite glowy. Now I'm putting this all over my face because obviously I'm testing it out and that's how I want to test it really. But that might not be the best option for you, and I'm going to talk through that in a little while, so stay tuned and I will tell you. So I've done a couple of very small pumps and I'm just stippling and swiping it in. Now with this I don't need to come all the way down my neck like I would with a foundation, or onto my neck anyway, because I don't want the glow down there. So just keep it where you need it. I'm also not putting it under my eyes because if you've got any fine lines there or any sort of texture, which I definitely have, then the pigments might sit in your fine lines and make it look a horrible mess. So as with all makeup really, foundations as well, I don't take it up to the under eye area because I want my concealer to be under there, not foundation, and certainly not a glow product like this. So as you can see, it's making the face look very glowy. I probably wouldn't wear this on its own. It's a bit much, and it's obviously got no coverage, so you can still see things through it, which is a good thing because obviously I don't want to cake it on and make it look like I've got some sort of mask on. For me, this isn't enough coverage. I'd want the foundation over the top. Now, I think that's probably enough for me. I'm just going to give you a chance to have a look at that. So that is glowy, which is what I wanted, so I'm not going to moan about it. Then what I do is I take this bigger brush, which is much less dense than this one, and I'm just going to make sure it's blended in. Wowee, that is quite glowy, but I do like it. So how did that feel? It felt very lightweight going on. It has got a little bit of a smell to it, I have to say, but nothing overpowering. I don't mind my products smelling a little bit, and this is definitely not bothering me at all, but it is there if that's an issue for you. Now I've got it on, I can't feel it. It doesn't feel sticky to the touch. I like that. I like the way it looks. Now I'm going to scuttle off and put the rest of my makeup on. Then we can chat through some of the downsides of using a product this glowy and what you need to be thinking about when you put it on your own skin. I'll be using quite a lightweight, also a glowy, dewy foundation. What you don't want to do is put a primer on like this, which is all nice and dewy, and then put a matte foundation over the top or something too heavy, because then the glow's not going to come through. What we're looking for is to put foundation on and have this glow just peeking through, making your face look amazing. If you're interested in finding out more about how to apply a foundation seamlessly so it looks lush, then I've got a video on this very thing where I include tips and tricks and hacks to get that lovely finish, and I will link it up here for you. Okay, the makeup is on. So for foundation I use the e.l.f. Soft Glam, which is this one, which is very budget and absolutely glorious. It's a satin foundation but also offers a glow, so we've got extra glow going on. And I have to say the foundation went over this primer extremely well, had no issues with it at all. I have powdered the areas where I need it, so sort of my T-zone area, leaving the other parts free to be glowy. And I am impressed. That primer definitely has made a difference. And I'm going to try some of this as a highlighter in a second. I just want to talk to you about some of the downsides to using a primer that's so glowy. Because it's designed to create a radiant look, it's got light pigments in it, and that's what gives the airbrushed effect. However, if you've got texture on your skin, such as large pores or fine lines or deeper wrinkles, then you might find that it sits in those and doesn't give you the look that you're after. Basically, it's doing a great job of highlighting your skin, but that also highlights the flaws. Now, good skincare will always help with that. So as I said earlier in the video, that's going to be your best friend. But the other things you can try is to only apply it where you want it. So if you want a bit of radiance on your cheeks, for instance, then just put it there and avoid all the areas where you have texture that it's going to highlight. Then my preferred choice is to use a blurring, pore minimising primer in the places on my skin where I need it before I put the glowy primer on. However, I sometimes put it on after. So I might put the glowy primer on and then take a look and then dab some pore minimising primer over the top of that. Try it both ways and see what you think. So you can use any pore minimising and blurring primer that you like. I've got one by Shiseido called Synchro Skin. That's a not budget option. I've also got the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, which is amazing and very budget. I've also got the number 7 Airbrush Away, and that is also good and a budget option. So with these, I might tap them into my forehead or maybe around a tiny bit of my cheeks if I've got some texture there, and maybe on my chin. Avoiding the eye area because we're not putting the primer there anyway. And that's just going to really help if it's an issue for you. Another trick is to apply with the damp sponge, which I talked about earlier. That's just going to help it go onto your face more seamlessly, but it might not hide all the flaws. So again, the pore minimising primer is a better option, I think. You could also make sure you take the less is more approach. Just start with a tiny bit of the primer and build it up to where you want it to be, so you don't overload it. And using a setting spray, that's going to help too. I use a bit of powder in the places where I need it, like I've just said. Then I do spray it with a spray, always. That's just part of my routine. So those are the tips to help with a glowy primer like this, showing up any texture on your face. So let's give it a go as a highlighter now that we've got the makeup on. So with this, again, on the back of the hand, don't want too much. I'm just going to get a tiny bit on my finger and put it there, right at the high point of my cheeks. I'm going to tap, tap, tap away, avoiding the eye area. Don't want to get too much or any in there. Just add a bit more if you want it. Then I've got a very small but quite fluffy brush. So I'm just going to waft it around a little bit, always keeping it on the high points to give me that lovely glow. And I think it's done that quite nicely. So I've really enjoyed using that today. It does various things. You can use it how it suits you. Just give it a go, channel your inner sass and put the glow on. Why not? You can always take it off. It is just makeup. If you've tried it, then please let me know in the comments. If you haven't tried it and you've got some questions, then ask away in the comments and I will get back to you. I make videos for this channel every week, so please pop back and see me again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.